and welcome to Signing Social, Unit 1, Lesson 1. I'm Karen Che, and I'm the writer and instructor for the Signing Social lessons. In the past, I've had YouTube videos to review each lesson, but since I've updated the lessons and added words or moved some words around, I thought it was time to update the videos as well. So, on to Lesson 1 for Unit 1. We'll be going over the alphabet, some basic words, as well as some introductory phrases that you can use when you meet someone. So starting with the alphabet, we'll start with the letter A, which is just wrap it around like that. And so if you really use your imagination, you can kind of think of this as looking kind of like a lowercase a. The thumb is the up and down stick part of the A, and then the rest of your fingers and hand makes the round part of the lowercase a. And then B, just the thumb in the front like that with all the fingers together. And I guess think of it as like you're backhanding someone, but you wouldn't because you are not violent. So B for backhand, sure. C is less violent and needs less explanation because, you know, it looks like a C. And D pretty much looks like D2. The index finger is the up and down part of a lowercase d, and then your fingers and thumb make the round part of the D. So D. E, if you turn it sideways, and again, really plug into your imagination, it kind of represents the lowercase e, because your top four fingers here curl around to make the round part of the top part of a lowercase e, and then the thumb wraps around to make the bottom curve of the E. So E, and then F for feather. Just go with me. And the next is G. You just point your finger to the side as if to say go. So G. H, you just add one more finger, so H. I, it looks like a lowercase or uppercase letter I. J, you're going to trace the shape of the letter J from the top all the way to down to the bottom curve of the J using your pinky finger. So J is J. So J. And then K is two fingers up with your thumb in front. And think of it as a person walking along and they kick up. So K for kick. L, pretty easy. Most people use this, not in such a pleasant term, but L is not for loser. Next letter is M. You have three fingers up and they wrap around the thumb, so your thumb is right out here. And it's supposed to look kind of like a cursive M with the three, if anyone remembers cursive. And then N, you just slide it over one more. And again, it's simulating a cursive N. And then O is a whole lot easier because it's just O. It looks like an O. P is going to be like the letter K if you're walking along, but you're walking along in your pants. And so it's K, but it's down. P for pants. And then Q, just do that. I got nothing for this. I have no idea why we do this. R is crossing your fingers. I have nothing for this either. I don't know why we have totally gone off the deep end. But S is like A, but the thumb comes in front. It's kind of representing a cursive S, lowercase s. Just go with it. T, we've fallen off the wagon again. It's just thumb is next to the index finger, and that's how we do T. Blame the French, they're the one who created this in the first place. U, since our fingers don't curve, we just put two fingers straight up in the air and say close enough. V looks just like V. W looks just like W. And then we have this weird thing for X. I don't know why, it's just something you have to remember. And then Y, it kind of makes your hand look like a Y. You have the thumb and the pinky kind of making the two top sticks pointing out for the Y, and then your whole arm is the bottom part of the Y, okay? And then Z is going to be like the letter J, but you're going to use your index finger instead and trace the letter Z, so Z. And that's the alphabet. You have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. So when you finger spell, what you want to do is have your palm facing out and then just spell along as smoothly as I did the alphabet. You don't want to bounce your hand up and down because it kind of makes it hard for deaf people to follow along. So just spell as smoothly as you can without bouncing or moving around, so it's highly visible. Also, if you have a word that has two of the same letters in a row, like ball, you can do one of two things. You would either bounce the two letters or you'd slide it. So you would have B-A-L-L or B-A-L. I prefer sliding just because it's smoother, but it's totally up to you what you feel like doing. Also, when you do finger spelling and signing in general, you want to pick one hand or the other. You can be right-handed, you can be left-handed, but whichever hand you choose, that's going to be your dominant hand. So that's going to be the hand you're going to spell with and that you're going to have all the dominant signing with. It's confusing. It's visually confusing to deaf people to see an ambidextrous sign. And it's kind of like it's confusing to watch a baseball player bat left-handed. It's not the worst thing in the world, but it is a little weird. So, but that's it for the alphabet and finger spelling. So on to basic words, and we have, we'll go over pronouns. Pronouns are pretty easy because it's just a matter of what you are referring to. So, like, just say me, you just take your index finger, and that index finger is going to become the pronoun. So you point to yourself for me, I, and that's automatically the pronoun. If I'm pointing at you, then because I'm pointing at you, the pronoun becomes you, and then whomever or whatever I'm pointing at will become him, he, she, her, or, you know, it. So for multiple plural pronouns like we and they, what you're going to do is take your finger and point at everyone involved in that pronoun for we. So if you're talking about we, us, you just do like this. Hopefully the person is standing next to you because it's going to be very confusing to reference. So this is we or us, and then if you're referencing they or them, you just drag your finger and point to everyone that is encased in that they or them. Now, for possessive pronouns, same principle, except you're going to use an open hand. So this is me, I, but to be possessive, you have an open hand, so it becomes mine, yours, his, hers, its, and the same thing for plural possessive of ours, and then theirs. And that's your pronouns. It's pretty easy. All you have to remember is index finger for a proper pronoun or pronoun, and then open hand for possessive. And so next thing we'll go over is hello. So just take your hand like this, and just like you're tipping off your hat or very informal saluting, you just do hello. You can do hello, hello, hello everybody, and that's how you say hello. So yes, you just take the A shape hand, and then this becomes your head, and you're going to nod it forward. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yes. No is an abbreviation of finger spelling N and O, but you just take your index and middle finger and drop the other two and form the letter O basically, and that's no. So no. Yes and no. Maybe is you take two hands and they're like the bowls in a balance scale, because you're weighing your options and you just kind of rock them back and forth and you say maybe. So yes, no, maybe. Then we have good. This good. From the chin just down to your hands, so good, and you can say great. It all depends on how you express it, the level of goodness, because you can say, it's good, or you can say, wow, this is good. And so the opposite would be bad, and so it's like you've tasted something awful, and you just spit it out. So bad, bad. So good, bad. If it's so-so, you can't quite make up your mind yet, you just put your hand out like this, and you just rock it back and forth, like I'm still teetering on whether to call this good or bad. So good, bad, so-so, average. And so those are some basic words for you. For greeting especially, you can have again. So you have an open hand like this, and your hand curved like this, and again. And this is the sign for the word again, literally, or repeat. But in sign language, ASL especially, it's rude to say what if you're not understanding something. Kind of the same in many other languages, I guess you could say. And so you wouldn't say, huh, what? You would say, again. And that's the polite way of saying, please repeat yourself. So, again. And then you can say, I understand. So you take your index finger, and it's like the wheels are crunching or turning in your head, and you're turning them. So, oh, I understand. But if you don't understand, again, it's going to be in your face, and so you'll just shake your head and frown and be like, I don't understand. What are you doing? Why are you doing this? And so, understand and don't understand. And then we have thank you, which is going to be like good, but you're blowing a kiss, because ASL is actually based off of French sign language, and well, that's how the French roll. So thank you is like blowing a kiss, and so from your mouth out. I would not recommend actually blowing the kiss, just thank you. So thank you. And then also you have sorry. You take the S shape and you just put it over your heart and go in a circle and say sorry, sorry about that. So you have again, understand, don't understand, thank you, sorry. And then one more I missed that will be very helpful to you is the sign for slow or slowly. You put one hand out, and then your dominant hand, left or right, is going to go on top, and you're just going to slide it up your arm. Depending on how slowly you slide up the arm, depends on how much slower you mean for them to go. But you know, slowly. I'm like, sorry, slow, I don't understand. You've already said a sentence now. For actual greetings, you've got hello, and then first thing people always want to know is your name. So take two U's to the side, or I guess two H's too, and just bounce them on top of each other. So name, and then meet, as in to encounter, meet someone, the M-E-E-T, not the meat that some people eat or choose not to. So yeah, two index fingers up, and it represents two people coming along. They're going along in life, and they meet. So meet. And then depending on who you reference it to, like you and me meeting, or he and she met, so you can do meet, or they met, or way over here they met, or oh, nice to meet you. And then which goes to the last word, which is nice. So two open hands, one on the bottom, dominant hand on top, and it's kind of making a cross, and you just slide it forward once. Just slide it once, because if you do it a lot, you're saying clean. And I'm sure the person you are signing with is clean, and they appreciate that in you as well, but you really want to say is nice. So, nice. So now you can say a greeting. You can say, hello, your name, and then put your hands out like this, like, what is it? And now you ask someone their name, and then they would say, hello, my name, and then they'll spell really fast, and you'll be like, oh, sorry, slower. And they're like, okay, Karyn. Or they'll be nicer about it, probably. And then you can say, after all that has happened, you can say, nice to meet you. So, nice to meet you. And that's your first 3 sentences, really, is hello, your name. My name is, nice to meet you. And that's it for lesson 1. I hope to see you in lesson 2, and in the meantime, sign happy.